Welcome back, all you nihilists and gluttons for punishment. I came across this preacher giving Elon Musk a reach around about this cave submarine he built. Well, I was up to speed about the rescue itself, but I was unaware of Elon Musk's amazing contribution to the effort and the fallout that would come. Thanks for stopping by. Like, share, comment, subscribe, all that jazz.
Many of you know I'm wrapping up a series I've been in talking about how to survive the caves of life. This series was inspired by the recent event in early July where there were 12 boys and their coach that were trapped in a cave in Thailand for 17 days. All of them made it out successfully.
They all didn't make it out. One of the cave divers drowned, and another guy died of a blood infection.
And so we begin to talk about some of the ideas, some takeaways from that we believe are in Scripture as well. And so we're going to wrap that up today, but I want to go at it from a different angle. I want to talk to you about how you can help others survive the caves of life, how you can help others. One of the backstories behind this great rescue is a man by the name of Elon Musk. Maybe you've heard of Tesla or SpaceX. Elon Musk is the owner of those two companies. And he heard about, just like we did, he heard about on the news these 12 boys and their coach. And so he began to look at the abilities that he has, the unique resources and technology that he has access to. And he began to think about what could he do to help rescue these boys. So he pulls together some of the greatest minds that work for him. He has access to some of the rarest materials. And they begin to work on a solution. And the solution that they came up with was a very special submarine.
So let's talk about the submarine for a second. You see that little bar thing all the way around there? That's what Elon Musk thinks a cave is like. One of the problems with this rescue is that air would get trapped in high places, and the divers would have to get out of the water, traverse the gap, and then get back in. So this thing is so rigid that it can't make it around corners. I mean, look, it's going to take 10 people just to get the damn thing out of the water with a person inside of it. The kids were rescued by using those diving masks where you can talk. They were sedated, and they were brought out, and they had the life signs had to be monitored and all that. In this case here, you just stuck the child in a tube and then hope that, they don't panic or freak out for the rest of their lives. I mean, this is such a fucking stupid idea that I'm not surprised that the head diver was like, fuck that thing. I mean, first off, by the time it was delivered there, they were already ready to rescue the kids.
Would be able to get into the kind of scenario that these boys were in and could be a life-saving vessel. Once the submarine was complete, Elon Musk personally flew this submarine to that cave where those boys and the coach were trapped. He personally helped transport it to those caves. He put it together, and he begins to work with the rescuers and these expert divers on how to operate this submarine. After several attempts...
I mean, that could be a lie. It was never used. It was never attempted to be used because it was immediately recognized as a stupid fucking idea.
They decide that they do not want to use Elon Musk's submarine that he had put together for them.
So Elon's mini sub has this fatal flaw, okay, hundreds of these tanks of air were taken inside the cave to be left so that the divers could go in, use up their air, come back, swap out their tank, go back in deeper. They were 2.5 miles deep inside this cave. So the great and brilliant and never failing Elon Musk's answer to this problem here is to use that right there. And that weighs a hell of a lot more than this. Okay, just to simplify, because of its weight, it would require a hell of a lot more energy just to move it around, let alone the navigational issues.
And it's interesting what he does next. They take the submarine, they put it to the side, but Elon stays behind and volunteers along with hundreds of other volunteers and just begins to ask what he can do. He doesn't jump ship because they don't use his gift. He doesn't sit around and cause problems because how could they possibly not use this invention, this creation of his? Don't they know who he is? Don't they know what he's accomplished?
Look at the amount of energy that these two divers are exerting and just trying to get this thing to go what looks like 5 feet. I mean, look at him kicking, he's pulling off the bottom, and then you got to consider this thing needs to go up and down and around corners. And what's really screwy about this is one of Elon's better ideas. Seriously.
He's not offended, he's not whining, he's not complaining. He just shifts gears. He rolls up his sleeves.
Got on Twitter, called the head diver a pedophile, because they wouldn't use this submarine that looks like it takes 10 guys to lift out of the water.
And he starts to help in any way that he can. After the boys were finally rescued, he doesn't go back to the Thailand government and say, I need my submarine back. You guys didn't use it. You didn't access this really gift that has an unknown value to it.
Well, that's just not true, preacher man. It can easily be accounted for. And since Elon Musk has never invented a thing in his life, there's no proprietary value.
He doesn't go and ask for it back. As a matter of fact, he leaves it behind as a gift and says maybe at some point in the future you would need this in another rescue attempt. As the media comes to him and wants to know, what he thinks about their choice to not use his submarine. In many interviews and even in any media outlets, they're trying to get him to say that the rescuers got it wrong, and that even though the boys and the coach were rescued, that maybe they took too much of a risk, that this submarine that he had created would have been a better route.
So this preacher makes the same mistake that a lot of Elon Musk fans do, thinking that they know better than the experts.
But he doesn't do that. He just simply says the thing that matters most.
That this guy is a pedophile because he called Elon's submarine a PR stunt.
Is that the boys and the coach are safe.
I know, you could come back around on me and be like, well, that guy told Elon to shove that submarine up his ass. And I would say, yeah, that makes sense.
And I think the church could learn a lot from Elon Musk.
Like, he can't seriously be talking about this clown right here. Look at him.
He's brilliant, he's wealthy, he's talented.
Well, I guess you could have been more wrong, preacher man. Yeah, he's wealthy.
He was willing to use the resources that he had, but yet in the end, none of those things were used, but yet he was still available to get down into the muddy waters of that cave and say, what menial task can I take on?
So Musk arrived in Thailand on the 9th. The children were rescued by the 10th. And his claim that Musk was down there in the mud, I can't find any proof of that anywhere.
And I think that that's the kind of attitude that God is looking for from his people.
And you're talking about this guy right here who has no church affiliations. But he did say that one time that he was baptized as a baby. So he must be a Christian, right?
You know, what's something that if the church had this, we could do anything? What's the one thing that if we had, we would never be able to say, oh, we have too much of that?
So, gang, before we finish, I got to point out this fancy cone they added to this thing to make it look more aerodynamic.
Or we need, there's always something that the church needs that if the church has.
Oh, a man can dream, though. A man can dream.